Good morning, Dee Dee. Be interested to see how calm of a day it'll end up being, or crazy of a day. Got about 2 more minutes before it'll push it to other people. Guys, make sure you tap on and hit the thumbs up. Tap in the nose. That's what's going on right here. Good morning, Wiegand. Did you see we lost another brat? Yes, I did. Hey, Claire. Thoughts on the Pentagon press walkout? You mean thoughts on the press not signing up to the demands of the Pentagon? I think it is just another. That was weird. Is that an omen? I mean, I think so, yeah. That is not common sense security issues. You don't even understand what you're saying. Who is actually doing the work to get the government open? The Democrats. They want to negotiate. The Republicans are just keeping everything closed. That's not how you get the government open. Just voting is not how you get the government open. There's more to it. But thanks for playing. The Republicans need 60 votes in the Senate to pass a CR. How did it start? It started because the Republicans chose not to negotiate at all. No, Democrats want to be part of the process, which they have every right to be, as the Republicans need their vote. The Republicans didn't talk to the Democrats at all. They just said, vote for this. They didn't want to negotiate about anything. That's the point. Like, it's not there is something to negotiate about. It's they did not negotiate at all. They just put it forth and said, vote for this or the government will shut down. There was no negotiation. There was no discussion. It's not like they talked and said, no, that's not going to work. Sometimes, Aaron. Nope, but that's fine. The Democrats' demands of wanting to keep tens of millions of people's health care available to them. Yeah. Okay. What's up, KJ? Then you would have gotten your way. Not if they didn't have 60 votes, they wouldn't have. They would have negotiated because that's how it works. Nope. Dems are not the reason, but thanks for playing. Hey, Heidi. Hi, Laura. What's up, KJ? Guys, if you're over on TikTok, please tap that nose. Appreciate it. It'll help push it out to people. If you're over on the tube, please hit that thumbs up. Again, helps. Appreciate it. You just figure out how you can repost lives. Good morning, Kayla. How are you? I'm doing good. No, this isn't a blame game. This is a reality game. I have no problem putting responsibility on people that cause the problem. This is a responsibility thing. Just because the Republicans don't want to take responsibility for their choices is not my fault. It's not the Democrats' fault. Not in this case. I have been more than willing to blame Democrats where the Democrats have made the mistake. They don't have 60 votes in the Senate. Polls say differently. Polls aren't people. And actually, the polls don't say differently, but that's okay. No, they didn't vote to shut down the government. They voted to not pass a CR that they had no part of, even though the Republicans needed their vote. No, not the Democrats' fault, but thanks for playing. Uh-huh. It's not a clean CR. It's not the same as it was in March. Unless PBS is still funded, unless USAID is still funded, it's not clean. No, Rowdy, you're full of it because you don't understand how a clean CR works. Why should the government? That's not the question, Brad. People are calling it a clean CR and it's not. That's the point. You can put forth whatever, they can put forth whatever continuing resolution they want. But don't call it a clean continuing resolution when it's not a clean continuing resolution. It's not the same as it was in March. No, that's not why the Democrats did not vote for the CR. The Dems didn't shut it down. But again, nice try. The Republicans needed 8 Democrats to vote to pass a CR. They did not negotiate. They didn't talk to them. They said, vote for this or else. That's called bad leadership. It's not the Democrats' fault that the Republicans don't know how to be leaders. And it's not the Democrats' fault that you guys don't understand how leadership works either. The government needs to be streamlined. You don't even know what the hell you're talking about, Brad. The government tries to run a country of over 300 million people. Be streamlined? Give me a break. Give me a frickin' break. Kayla, I don't know. I don't know what will wake people up anymore. This country is gone. No, it's not. It's still here. No, it's not, Sarah. It's not. You want to know how I know? Because PBS is no longer funded. Because USAID is no longer funded. There are things that aren't funded anymore that were in the CR that they signed. So it's not a clean CR. Again, it's not a question of whether you are okay with it. Just don't call it something clean when it's not. That has nothing to do with the conversation we are having, Colt. Grow up and listen before you speak. Please listen before you type and hit send. You have every right to not want USAID to be in there. You have every right to not want PBS to be funded. The argument is that it is a clean CR. It is not a clean CR. That is the discussion we're having. When you're ready to have a real adult conversation, then you can come back and talk tomorrow. Did y'all get? No, didn't get our checks yet. Thank you, Mental Millennial. By the way, how are you doing, Mindful? Hey, Flamingo. Hey, Mandalorian. No, they just know what they hear Mike Johnson and Thune say on TV. No, sorry, Brett. It's not. Guys, if you're on TikTok, please tap that nose. It really helps push it out. We want more people to be a part of this conversation, and we can't do that unless if you guys like what we're doing, we need to be able to get it out to other people. How about them Chiefs? I haven't watched the Chiefs. How are the Chiefs doing? And if you're over on the tube, please hit that thumbs up. By the way, everyone here, I'm live here and over on the tube. Just so you know, on the tube, you don't have to worry about getting filtered. It's a great place to be. There's lots of cool people over there. They run amok. They love saying the word amok. So if you want to say the word amok, you can over there. Hey, Steve. How's it going? Aw, thanks, Sophie. The Chiefs aren't doing well. I'm sorry, but who didn't negotiate to get the 8 Democrats that they needed to pass any bill, Cubby? Again, it's not just about the vote. It's about the work that they have to do. That's part of being a leader. Would you vote for something that nobody talked to you about? Nope. Nope. GOP's inability and non-desire to lead. What's up, Shug? Aw, well, Jax, amazingly enough, there's more people in this country than you know. You have to pass it to find out? What? Dems are not holding the country hostage. The GOP are. Because the GOP are still unwilling to negotiate. Sophie, who are you talking to? I'm not sure who you're talking to here. Not sure who you're talking to. Well, right now I'm talking to you. Good morning. Hey, Michelle. How are you? Hey, Alyssa. Guys, if you're on TikTok, please keep double tapping on that nose. I feel it when you do it. If you're over on the tube, please keep hitting that thumbs up. If you haven't already. I thought we were just saying stuff. Am I gonna cover it? I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see what the day looks like. You're gonna have to wait a long time, Heidi. Hey, Jeremiah. How are you? Good morning, Kia. Yep, still waiting on that too, Nelly. Probably gonna have to wait a long time. Look forward to all the videos tomorrow. Yeah. How many we need to get 3.5% of the population? There's about 220-ish million adults in the country. So 10% would be what? 22 million. The 1% would be 2.2 million. So 3% would be about 6.6. Add another 0.5%, 7 or 8. So about 8 million. The population of adults. Maths. Yep. All the maths. How you doing, Philip? The best math there ever was. Considering everything that's gone since the last one, it definitely doesn't seem impossible. No, the army is not getting paid. Happy Friday. That's a good question. Normally, I would say they are not, but with this administration, I don't trust anything. No, this is a GOP shutdown, K-Man. Yes, I have. I have heard about the exercise they're holding in California tomorrow. I don't know what the average pay is. They did not offer a 1-year extension on the subsidies. The only offer that was given was a vote. The only offer that has been given is that they would be willing to put it to a vote, even though they're putting it to a vote by putting it in the CR and having them vote on it. What is the California stuff? What about Cali? They're firing off ordinance in San Francisco at the exact moment that the Love America national event is going on. Thanks, Gremlin. I appreciate that. Nope. Sorry, K-Man. That's not how it works. The GOP are in the majority. They need 8 Democrats to vote to pass anything. You don't just put things forth without talking to people that you need to get to sign your stuff. If they don't like it, it's your job to get it done. Yep, it takes 60 votes. There may be a divide. It doesn't matter. Right now, the Republicans aren't negotiating at all, so it doesn't matter what the divide is. In the end, they just need 8. They also get like a bonus too, I think. It's not a clean CR. A clean CR is different. A clean CR would still be funding PBS and USAID and a bunch of other things. It's not. It's not clean. It's not the same as it was in March. It has changed. By its very nature, it is no longer clean. It's not the same. Is PBS still being funded? Is PBS still being funded? Continuing resolution. That's not the question. Whether you want it to be funded or not is not part of the discussion, Bourbon on the Rocks. Maybe you should listen before you talk. Again, Trent, that's not the point. And they only ask for public funding because the government no longer funds it like they're supposed to, Trent. Originally, they were supposed to be completely funded by the government. That's the point. The discussion is not whether or not you agree that these things should or should not be funded. You call it a clean CR if it's not the same as it was in March. It's not clean. Call me daddy. I already asked you a question and you're not answering. So this is the last It doesn't matter whether you agree with it or not. Thanks, Steve. No, you have no point, Bourbon. Their argument is that it's a clean CR, and it's not. That's the point. You just don't agree with it. Again, whether or not it should or shouldn't be funded, Trent, is not the point. You're not getting this. It's not a clean CR if it's not exactly the same. That's what clean means. Don't argue it's a clean CR when it is not. Nope. Not the DNC, it's the GOP. But thanks for playing. It is the point. No, it's not. You guys are arguing that they should sign it because it's a clean CR. That's your argument. No, beach golfer. The argument that the leadership of the GOP is making is that this is a clean CR. It's exactly the same as the one they signed in March. They have been making that claim. The GOP have been making that claim. I don't care. Of course it does. What they signed in March still funded PBS. What they signed in March still funded USAID. It's not clean. The ACA subsidies do not give free health care to anybody. Nobody gets free health care anywhere. Obamacare's not failing. Obamacare's made it possible for 20 million people to have health care that wouldn't otherwise. That's not a failure. Ah. Yeah, I'm sure about that. I remember what it was like before Obamacare. Or the Affordable Care Act. Rates did not go up because of Obamacare. Rates went up because the cost of everything went up. Do you understand how inflation works? No, they did not. Yes, I do. Inflation means things get more expensive. No, I won't bring you up. I don't know you. I don't bring up people I don't know. No, I never bring up people I don't know investigating Prime. No, the ACA was not supposed to lower costs. The ACA was supposed to make healthcare affordable and accessible for people that normally would not be able to get it. Which it did, which is why 20 million people have it that wouldn't have had it before. Nowhere did it say it was supposed to lower the price of healthcare for everyone else. Literally nowhere did it say it was supposed to lower the price of healthcare for anyone else. Hey, Emma. Because they think that, I don't know, because they've lost humanity, Shug. Because humanity doesn't exist for some of these people. Guys, if you're over on TikTok, please keep tapping my nose. I appreciate it. If you're over on the tube, please keep hitting that thumbs up. Know that I'm live here and over there at the same time. If you want to hang out over there, it helps get my hours up so I can start making it possible for me to keep doing this. No, not a Democrat shutdown, but thanks for playing. Hey, Monique. Uh-oh. Broccoli butter. Of course they're scared of group of people, and they're scared of not being privileged. Happy Friday, Ken. You'd think that would be a wise thing to do, Liz, but there's the unfortunate truth about this country is we don't like, the leadership especially, don't like learning in general. At least they haven't for a long time. So it happens when all you care about is having tons and tons of money and being wealthy. I don't care about people. I have not, Shug. I have not. Guys, if you're over on the TikTok, please keep tapping that nose. It helps out a lot. And if you're on the tube, please keep hitting that thumbs up. It helps out a lot. Making me want some of those treats. Henry, I'm assuming that whatever you said got filtered. That's the first thing I've seen from you. No, they didn't, Jeff. No, they didn't the Democrats did not shut down the country. The Republicans are in the majority. The Republicans' job is to negotiate if they need to get votes. And they haven't at all. In fact, they last minute put the CR through trying to force the Democrats to vote for it. It's just a fact. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. Don't really care. But the reason the filibuster exists is so the minority can have a little power. That's why they haven't gotten rid of it, because they could get rid of it if they wanted to. The majority could get rid of it if they wanted to, and they don't, because they understand that it gives the minority needed checks and balances, needed small amount of power. Again, don't have to like it. Don't really care. No, it's the GOP. The leadership's job is to negotiate to get things passed when they need votes from the other side. They need votes from the other side. They're not negotiating. Bye, Rocky. By the way, everyone tomorrow, make sure you stay safe, okay? Be aware of what's going on around you. Oh. Aw. Colt is upset that they got muted. Well, now Colt can enjoy being blocked. I'm not going to bring up anyone just yet, Shug. Or Kia. But yes, I'll bring up people in a bit. I know. I read yours right above after I read Shug's. That's all. I didn't want you to think I was ignoring you. Hey, Tabitha. Oh, Michelle, 100% they did it last minute so they could play that game. 100%. Okay, Mandalorian. It's the same. The event that's happening tomorrow is happening because the people actually want America to be what America is supposed to stand for. As opposed to the GOP that are trying to frame it as a hate America event. No, tell that to the people in the administration that are trying to get their own way. Tell that to the administration that's trying to make an arc de Trump. It's literally trying to make their own version of an arc de triomphe, calling it an arc de Trump. Don't sit here and pretend. Why did the shutdown happen initially? The same reason that it's still going. They have to pass a budget by October 1st, and they didn't. Why do you have to? You don't have to do anything, Clara. Look, the more people that go, the better chance that things can get changed. But also, you need to stay safe. You can only do what you can do. No. Why would they pass the CR if no one's talked to them? The GOP need to do their job, become leaders. The fact that they're trying to, the fact of what the administration is trying to frame those protests as, I would argue disagrees with your statement, Nico. Disagree, Monique. Voting is effective, sure, but more effective? Disagree. They're both needed in some cases. Not to mention it's our right. How so? Framing everyone who goes to these as being against America, talking about activating the military because of it. No, Bob. Republicans have not done their job, which is talk to Democrats, negotiate with Democrats in order to get their votes. They chose to not negotiate at all, not to talk to anybody. It's on them. We wouldn't be in this mess. We'd be in a different mess. Does it prove that we're under a king's rule? No, but I believe that we are under someone who wants to be a king. No, Dems are actually there wanting to talk. Dems are literally there wanting to talk. Mike Johnson has literally for the last month put the House on recess. No, they are, Hannah. You can see the video of them being there. They absolutely are in Pennsylvania, Clara. Clara, do whatever you want, okay? Do whatever you want. No, Democrats are not the ones shutting it down. But thanks for playing. A king wouldn't even act the way he's acting. That's probably true. He's acting worse. No. The GOP are the ones shutting it down. No worries, Lisa. Thanks for playing. I love how people try and play word games as though that means anything. Thank you, Lisa. California is spending a lot on Prop 50. It shouldn't be happening. It shouldn't be necessary. You're right. They are doing a lot to protect those people. Yes, Scott. The GOP is working hard to protect everyone who's in those files, which is frightening. Oh, I understand, Stephanie. I understand. Guys, if you're on the TikTok, please keep tapping my nose. I feel it. And just so you know, we're also live over on the Tube. We're trying to grow over there. I make content a minimum twice a week. We're actually going to start posting more stuff over there, going more in depth on things, even expanding the kind of things that we talk about. So if you are interested, you should hang out over there. No, John. GOP shut down. Understand how reality works. Because the reality is they need 8 votes from the Democrats. And they did nothing to try and get them. They just put something forth and said, vote for it. That's not how reality works. It's like a game. Can you tap my nose? Can you tap it? That should tell us how powerful. Oh, I agree. And again, nope, it's not a clean CR. If they're not funding things that were being funded in March, it's not clean. Philip. That was a good one. That was a good one. That's the first time I've seen you say a word. But, you know, thanks for playing. Anyone who's on that list should be paying the price. No, we allow lots of views here. That doesn't mean you can say whatever you want. It's kind of crazy at times, Scott. No. Good morning. Take a deep breath. Why? I'm fine. I don't care about the opinions of people that think that it's okay to do crappy things to people. I don't care about the opinions of people that think that healthcare shouldn't be accessible to all humans, that health is not a right. I don't care about people that think that. Those opinions are not opinions worth losing sleep over. Wait until the healthcare premiums double? Seriously. Seriously. What did he just say? I'm not sure I want to know. What did he just say? Nope. Democrats don't own it. GOP does. GOP are in the majority. Understand how government works, Bob, before you talk, please. No, Bob. You know, writing things in exclamation points doesn't make you right. Like, you understand that that's not how it works. It's not like I talk in in caps. So that must mean I'm right. Didn't you know that? It is sad that politicians are getting paid. It is. Caps equals win. Yeah. Yep. Caps equals win. Guys, make sure you keep tapping that nose over on TikTok. It really does help. Also sharing. Sharing is caring. And if you want to help over on the tube, I'm trying to grow over there. Right now there's 14 people over there. I'd love to see it get higher. And you don't get filtered. I don't like feeling scared. I feel that. Same name. Yep. Same name. Same image. Caps just mean they're crying for attention. That's true. You're on both? Thank you, Karen. I appreciate that. It means a lot. Finally found your iPad. Did you ever send me the names you thought of, Brianna? Thank you, Mr. Moba. I appreciate you guys for doing that. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Got mad migraines. No worries. I appreciate you, Shug. I hear you, Moba. I don't blame anybody for being on what you're on. I'm just trying to I need to get to 4,000 view hours in order to be able to make it possible for me to keep doing this long term. So if you guys like it, I need your help. I can only do so much. Your spouse isn't getting paid and is at work every day, but politicians are and not at work. Journey, I'm so sorry, and I hate it more than you know. Yes, anything that I do in there counts towards it. Yes. Oh, DDK isn't happy that they got muted. They don't understand. It's not how it works. I appreciate you guys. And again, sharing helps even more because well, both help. But sharing does help. If you do know people that may be interested, like I just put one out that talks about North Carolina, and it's not getting much traction at all. It's a really good video, but it's not getting much traction because it's not national. So if you know people in North Carolina, that would help. Do I think they will cave? No. I don't think they will. That could be wrong, but I don't think they will. This will be your last morning. I had to get a job, so days of being stay-at-home dog mom are finished. No, Michelle, I'm sorry to hear that. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. And can't be here all the time. Yeah. It's going to be weird not having people here. And who knows, maybe that means maybe I'll need to change mine to later too. And couldn't find it? It should be right. Should be right there. Yeah, if you go to the main page, Moose, like you go to my whole page, it should be right on the top. I'm looking at it right now. Shows my face and it says YouTube Live. Oh, you don't need to apologize. I'm just I wanted to make sure that it was still there, and it is. Appreciate you, Shug. You mean Indigenous Persons Day? Indigenous Peoples Day? Yep. I remember Indigenous Peoples Day. No, thank you, Moose. Journey, thank you. All right. Community people, if you want to come up, I can have people up now.
That's right. I want it on the bottom of the totem pole. Perfect timing. I didn't cook my breakfast, made the dogs some scrambled eggs. Everybody is eating. All 15, 16. Wait, how many animals did I feed today? 10, 11, 12, 18.
Dang.
I've fed 18 animals and myself this morning.
Aw, Arthur, why do you think you're going to stick around after saying such a stupid, stupid thing?
You know what? Let me add that word to the list.
Hey, Flamingo. I think I said hi to you before. I don't remember anymore. Oh yeah, the New York mayoral debate last night was friggin' hilarious and so bad for Cuomo.
I wonder how they were able to say that, and it's already on the list.
Because they put liber. They put an R in there and an ER.
So it was LIBR.
They put LIBER. They just misspelled it. They misspelled their insult. That's how they got it through.
It's now been added. Good morning, Mo. Yeah, like that. Can we talk about this? I saw on YouTube on the tube that somebody was talking about the bunch of the states that are getting ready to sue because of all those grants they pulled for that solar stuff. And I didn't know if you had saw that North Carolina is one of those states. There was 12,000, y'all. It's a 12 with 3 zeros after it. 12,000 families, lower income families that were supposed to get grants to put solar in their house to help them have them electricity in their home and cut their electricity costs. And that money is just totally disappearing.
Mm-hmm. Which governor? It wasn't a governor debate, Anna. It was a New York mayoral debate. So Zoran Mamdani, Cuomo, and I don't know who the Republican one is. It was so weird and bad, though. Both of the other guys, other than Mamdani, were just making a fool of themselves the whole time. No, you're good. How's it going, Shug?
It's going well, my friend. How are you?
Another day in paradise.
Yeah, yeah. I see that. I feel that. Yeah, you know that. So that documentary. So it's Michael Moore,
Okay.
and effectively, he's showcasing the differences of the countries that have free healthcare versus how we operate here in the States. And Sicko, for those who don't know what I'm referring to. It's called Sicko. And I think, I mean, there was a lot of heartbreaking parts in that, but I think among the one of the saddest was he took some folks who were involved in 9/11, like cleaning up and everything. And there was this woman who was, I believe she was working 3 jobs effectively to help pay for her medication. And he took her to Cuba, and effectively, what she would have paid, like I think it got her like 3 months or something like that of medication for like a very much a fraction of what she was paying in the U.S. And not only that, but he took her and some firefighters who were also involved in 9/11 cleaning up, and he took them to a Cuban fire station, and they actually threw a barbecue for them and celebrated them, and it was like, hey, if you're a firefighter, we feel like no matter where you are, all firefighters are our brothers and sisters. So they gave them a parade, and I mean, not a parade, excuse me, a barbecue and all of that. And it was just sad to see, communist Cuba, right? How another country treated our folks better than we treat our own folks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Llama, that whole thing with the American flag in the background, that's messed up. And I mean, Mike Johnson's response is not surprising in any way, shape, or form. That sounds interesting though, Doug. I'll have to check it out. 100%.
Yeah, I highly recommend it.
It's crazy how we're supposedly the greatest country in the world, but it's much more affordable and easier access to go to other places to get health care. It's crazy.
I'd agree. There's I'm sorry, go ahead.
I wanted to, yeah, I didn't hear what Mike Johnson said. Like, when I tell you, when I get off the lives, I've been head down focused on so many other things right now. Missed. What do you say?
Oh, so for those of you that don't know, during a live video something, there's in a congressman's office, the flag behind him had been altered to have the symbol of 1930s Germany on it. So obviously people were upset, and the congressman immediately contacted Capitol Police, and there's an investigation. Mike Johnson gave the normal response, which is, obviously that's horrible. We should always call it out. We're doing an investigation. They did exactly what they're supposed to do. I have no other comment. I understand that, Llama. I'm just talking about what was being... I understand that. I understand.
But it's like, report it to us so then we can sit here and talk about it and then do absolutely nothing about it because we're the party of not holding anybody accountable that does anything wrong.
Of course. Not a Democrat shutdown. It's a GOP shutdown. Thanks for playing. It's like if you say it enough that you'll just start believing, that people will start believing it. I mean, they probably do believe that, but
that's the thing. I think they truly legit believe it. And then, like I said, was it yesterday or the other day, when you've got the damn vice president and then you've got the speaker of the house getting on national TV and all over all of the things they're doing, podcasts and everything, and putting out all this misinformation, it's like, well, damn.
Yep. And they're doing this. Both of them did the same thing about the text messages from the young Republicans.
Yeah, that text message change was absolutely offensive.
I do not know how either of them have the ability to sleep at night with the bullshit that they are putting out on these things. Isn't the speaker the only one that can open it at this point? So here's the thing. The thing that makes it possible to open it at this point is the GOP, which will actually require the House and Senate to be part of the negotiation, would need to negotiate, which is what they need in order to pass anything through the filibuster. And they would have to get 60 votes in the Senate, and the House would have to be opened back up, and they would have to re-vote on whatever the new CR was. Both of those would have to happen. But yes, having the House be open would also be required. You're right, it's called a filibuster, and that means you need the votes of Democrats. What did the GOP do to try and get those votes? What negotiation happened? What was offered to the Democrats to get those votes? I bet you got, oh my gosh, Richard, grow up. Are you 5 years old? That's a 5-year-old response. Golly.
I think for sure, like because at first when the story of the text message thing, please don't put links in the chat. TikTok does not like it. When I saw it like pop down on my phone and I was in there feeding the kittens and I was like, well, I'll go back to it and read it. And then I forgot. And then they were talking about it on the news. And I was like, what the actual what? And then I started seeing what the messages were like in other places. And I'm like, this is what I often say when I talk about the lack of accountability. That's why so much of this stuff is happening. There was no accountability after the Civil War. If there was no accountability by letting who be elected again. And look what's happening. There has to start being some accountability. Every one of those young men, all of those grown ass men, whether they were young men or not, they're all grown ass men or person, whether they were whatever, every single one of them should be held.
One of them was the same age as J.D. Vance was when he first went into Congress. I mean, again, text messages. Yes, Tabitha, a bunch of young Republican leaders, some of them state senators, were text messaging and saying some of the most horrendous things that can be said. And I'm not going to say what they said. You can look it up. Politico did a thing on it. They were really, 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 really bad. And then J.D. Vance decided to go on and with his full chest basically say, kids will be kids. We shouldn't ruin their lives over it. And
yeah,
this is,
they were bad.
And this is the same J.D. Vance that said anyone that seemed to be okay, that he perceived as being not upset about Charlie Kirk losing his life, should be fired and should pay societally for it.
A quick question: how long ago were these messages done? And I'm not saying that like obviously I'm not saying that they should have ever been said. I'm just curious as to how long ago these messages were sent.
I don't know.
From my understanding, it was like I think was it a 7-month period. Either they were investigating it, but the fact that they put on there, if these text chats get out, we're cooked.
Right.
No.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they definitely knew they were wrong. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know that. I was just curious as if we knew how recent this text chain was. But yeah, I mean, yeah, in the like you said, by the person's own admission, they knew.
Well, and again,
they knew what they were saying.
In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter how long ago it was if they aren't going to take responsibility for them, which is really the problem.
Okay. Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with you on
that's
that.
not really the problem. There's a lot of problems, but that is definitely one of the problems.
Right. That's the starting point for sure. Is being responsible for what you said. But yeah, no, that's and then again, like Kia said yesterday, and as we have to continue to point out as these things keep happening, saying stupid stuff, and I'm sorry to be brash there, but saying dumb stuff like racism doesn't exist. That's ridiculous. We really, I don't know where, I don't know why folks are trying to sling that, but you very clearly have these folks in this text chain that are keeping it alive and well. It exists for them, that's for sure.
I mean, it's nice to see that companies are letting them go after it. But yeah, this is. I'm trying to see if there's anywhere that talks about specifically when it happened, but I can't find anything.
I have like a question though. Oh, the scrambled eggs. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mel. I made some plain ones first for the dogs. No butter, no eggs, no salt, no pepper. But and that's a good question though, Shug, because it's like And I think the thing is, it's like if that would have been, say, like my sons and their friends on that kind of chat group, or let's say if it would
Oh,
have
sure.
been Obama girls would have been on there, if it would
Mm.
have been anybody else up there saying that stuff, they would be calling for the, you know what, I'm on TikTok, so I'm going to be careful what I say. But all hell would have busted loose if it would have been any one of them.
Oh, sure.
And that's the problem. When you sit here and you think like stuff like that is just something that young people do, no, it's not. And that's why racism still exists in this country, because it's still perpetuated by the grown folks in these homes.
Sure.
Mm.
I mean,
Mhm.
yes,
Mm.
I saw a podcast that Obama did, and he basically said the same thing. I don't think it was about the text message. I think it was about something else, but he's pointing out the same thing, that again, for anyone that's willing to see the world and the country as it really is, would go, if Obama did that, they would have lost their shit. If Obama did anything, if Obama did a quarter of the stuff that this administration has done in 9 months, and that the Republicans are doing just in society as a whole, they would, the Republican Party would have lost their absolute shit.
Yeah.
And the fact that they, oh yeah, yes. So
right.
the Texas thing. So I guess when Obama was president, the National Guard or whatever were doing normal, like, practice. They were practicing, which is what you do when you're in the military, to make sure that you're ready for when you're needed. And I guess, like, Ted Cruz and other people were talking about how this was like Obama's army preparing to take over things and all this other stuff. So he was like, if I did with the National Guard what Trump is doing, they would have lost their absolute shit. But you could say the case with anything. Like, if literally anything that is being done right now was done by Obama, even again, a tenth of it. Because look what they did over a friggin' tan suit. Yeah.
Not only that, look what they did to Michelle about wearing a sleeveless top.
Yeah.
My Nana was one of them I had to check, and she was sitting there talking about, that's so disrespectful as the first lady. And I just looked at her and I couldn't help but wrinkle up my whole face. And I was like, that is like the most white tea lady, like, stupid thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Do you see her arms? Are you upset because your arms don't look like her arms? Hello. But now, and and I remember having that conversation, and I'm like, and people had the audacity to get pissed off about her arms. But I mean, did everybody forget about, we're on TikTok, so I have to filter, do not be putting all this stuff in chat. But where the first lady showed all the goods, but they bitched about Michelle Obama's nice toned chocolate brown arms. What is that?
That was a burp.
Oh. Hey, I was confused too, kid. Not showing all the goods.
Straw. So I was like, where did that sound come from?
It was a very unexpected burp. It just happened all of a sudden. I didn't know it was coming, so I didn't have a chance to move my mic in time. Again, this is the problem as a whole. There is no excuses for the differences. Of course not. Again, it was like the video I made yesterday, which you can tell now that one video that I tried to post got held, that I'm definitely in a behind the scenes watch. Like, I'm not officially, but you can tell, like, my numbers are just tanked all of a sudden. But it was like I said in that video, now my brain is fried. Hold on. If you guys need to say something, you can. I have to remember what I'm talking about.
Okay, you're all good. No,
that's what happens once we get over 40.
I just turned
Oh,
40 this
yeah.
year.
So the
Go ahead.
fact that JD Vance can say that anyone who just says that they're not sad about what happened to Kirk should be fired and should have society, dox all of the things that happened, that's justified. And yet after the text messages come out, this is just kids being kids. Kids say stupid things all the time. We shouldn't hold them to account. We shouldn't ruin their lives over this. Like, that's the kind of thing that the Republican Party is constantly doing that is absolutely pissing me off. Again, I don't mind people being held accountable. I want accountability on all sides.
Right. That is the part. The double standard. You say one thing, do another. It's always like, hey, freedom of speech unless you say something we don't like.
Oh, I understand, Steffi. They're adults. They are adults. I'm saying, regardless of whether they're children or adults, what happened to frickin' accountability? Why can we not hold people accountable? You don't want their lives ruined? Well, maybe they should have been taught better by the adults in this country that you don't do things like that. I want accountability for the convicted village. Yeah. Uh-oh. Trouble's here.
Trouble.
Hello,
Good
Trouble.
morning.
Good morning, Theory.
I was gonna say, it isn't just about race, it's also about gender, because here they are calling 25-year-old men kids, and yet the 18-year-old woman that Matt Gaetz was caught with is not a child. She's an adult, she's a young adult. So it's just them constantly making excuses for white men. I mean, we've seen it with Brock Turner. It's just a continuation of the same sort of rhetoric we've all kind of accepted about white men, which is that they're kids until, I don't know, they're 40.
Yeah.
Yes, Theory. I can't stand that. But yet, something happened where a teenage black kid does something and they're ready to throw the whole adult book and everything at them. And that's the thing. It's like, stop. That's part of the issue and the reason this whole quote unquote young men empathy. Oh my God.
The loneliness epidemic.
Yes, the loneliness. I'm trying to say empanadas and
empanadas. Guys, we got a loneliness empanada going on here. We need to watch out.
That's the word.
It may sound delicious, but walk away.
But I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you can't treat and coddle your kids. That's why I've said so many times, it's us women too. Stop coddling these kids, especially these YT ladies with these YT sons. Stop telling them when they're little that the entire fucking world revolves around them. Stop telling little Susie it's okay that boy probably just likes her when he's beating on her and picking on her and pulling her hair, cutting her hair and stealing her stuff. Stop it. There's so much, I think, a lot of it. I don't think that after a certain point you can blame it on the parents. Because once somebody grows up and they start to make their own choices and they leave your home, you can't dictate that. But a lot of it starts when they're young. Look at how many of them are coddled. They don't ever understand what it is to be let down. They're not allowed to be sad. They're not allowed to cry. They're not allowed to process any of their emotions. And that's part of what's happening.
When we study intersectionality in sociology, which is not my major, it's not my field, I'm political economy, but we touch in sociology and anthro as well. We talk about the ways in which women are often tasked with upholding the systemic structure that disenfranchises a lot of other people. So one of the ways that women uphold the patriarchy, for example, is by telling their sons things like this, right? And I don't think that a lot of the women see it as coddling. I think they see it as parenting. They're like, that's the reality of the world. The reality of the world is that it's a man's world. The reality of the world is that my son's going to be anything he wants to be because there's nothing standing in his way. Manifest destiny situation. Other ways that women uphold the patriarchy is marrying men who think that way and supporting men who think that way, is entering workforces and capitulating to bosses who are that way. Yeah.
And that's the problem, theory, is that it's facts are not what you want them to be. You don't get to dictate what are facts. And that's the problem. They don't see it as coddling. Let your kids fall down and get hurt and understand that it's okay, that sometimes that happens. Let them be sad and upset about what's going on. Don't tell them because of what gender they are or what schmecks they are or whatever, that they have to be a certain way. And that's part of the issue. The complete lack of, because you can't never talk or teach your children when they're at home with you about what it's like to be in the world or how to exist with other people outside of in your home, and then set them loose as adults and expect for them to know and understand and properly be able to navigate this world. For sure.
The most annoying part about it getting cold out is now all the coffee I drink isn't sweated out. So I always have to go to the bathroom.
Man, that's a tough thing.
It's annoying. It's annoying.
I often think if I could just exist.
Mike, I'm sorry for your plight, friend.
It's a rough life.
I don't want a body. I just want to live in a brain. But then I sound like Peter Thiel, so I don't say that.
Yeah. Well, I saw Peter Thiel said something that was ridiculous. I know that's most of what he says, but I can't remember what he said. Like this morning, someone was talking about how he blamed all the plight on like poor people or something like that.
I don't know. He thinks that Greta Thunberg is
That's
the
it.
Antichrist.
Yes, that Greta Thunberg is the Antichrist. That was it. Yes.
Well, he doesn't tell you what like the end of that argument is. The reason he thinks that Greta Thunberg is the Antichrist is because he thinks he's Christ.
Oh.
Yeah. He thinks that technocrats are Christ.
Crazy world we live in, guys.
This is the billionaire who's going to pay the militaries, according to Trump,
right,
during the government shutdown.
Yeah. This app is always weird to me. A video I made almost 2 months ago is, for some reason, taking off again. I don't understand.
TikTok is doing this new thing with its algorithm where it's trying to push out marketing about old videos aren't dead, they're sleeping.
Well, they picked a weird one to do it with.
Yeah, so to encourage people not to leave the app. So they're like, if you leave, you lose all of the metadata on your videos being old. Like if you stop posting, fine. But if you delete your account and remove all your videos, now you no longer have any old videos. And you have to build like account legacy from scratch.
I'd rather everyone all 100,000 people that follow me just start watching me over somewhere else. We don't need to worry about it.
Ooh. Something I've learned about in the last couple of days. Can you say monetizing?
Sure.
You can monetize on the cord and you get 90% of your subscriptions over there. 90%, and you set the price. Just want to put that out there. I don't know enough of the technicalities to be able to do it for you. How I first heard about that was because of Carly, the New Orleans kitten nursery lady that I follow, because she's pretty upset with TikTok and how they've changed. I don't think I've ever watched somebody run a live in a way like Carly, whether it's political, animals, anybody. She works it like a business in the coolest way. And she was like, this whole only $10 thing just for lives, but then having to pay a separate fee to have access to like subscriber only videos and stuff like that. Because like with you, so like if you, before super fans hit, y'all, if you were subscribed to somebody and you mostly watch their stuff on a live, they automatically transferred your thing to a super fan. But then like I have like a sub for Katie Van Slyke. She doesn't do lives. It's just for sub only content. That's totally different. So like when it went to superfan, I still just went into her little thing. But Good Trouble was talking about it last night. They share, him and Carly share a mod. She was talking about it. But yes, you can get subs through the cord. You can set the price that you want, and you get 90%.
That's awesome.
I'll have to look into it. I don't see
Yeah.
where it is, but that doesn't mean anything. I'm looking
Because
in this.
Carly first spoke about it a few weeks ago, and she's like, I want to do some more research, because she was like, she's ready. She's somebody who literally, like, she runs a small mammal nursery, mostly kittens, but she also does armadillos, possums. She doesn't do raccoons, but she does squirrels, sometimes puppies, and she uses the money that she makes from TikTok mostly to provide vet bills, all of the things. And she came back a couple weeks later. She's like, I've been looking at it, and because she's trying to figure out how to maintain the money for the nursery to be able to work. She's a 501c3, and at the same time, still let everybody see what's happening here. But I just thought, when I heard that, I was like, ooh, I got to tell Mike about that.
Yeah. I'm looking into it a little bit. There's supposedly eligibility criteria that are necessary. So I don't know what that means.
I know one of the things was that she had to, like, because so somebody else set up Carly's Discord, so they had to transfer ownership for that person. You had to wait 30 days after the ownership, and then she could go ahead and start monetizing on it. Past that, I don't know past that though, brother, honestly. But when I heard that, I was like, shit, 90%. I'm telling Mike.
I just want everyone to know that Linda in the chat said that she's listening to us on TikTok in her car, and that her dogs are at home listening to you.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yesterday I tried to, because my iPad had to charge, so I had my iPad in my room on my charger, sitting on the bed, because there's not really anywhere that's kitten safe. And when I came back, one of the kittens was sitting on the iPad and had deleted Laura's comments and then kicked her out of the chat. So be careful where you put your stuff for the pets to listen. Make sure they can't step on it.
It's possible that I can't do it because technically I'm streaming. Streamer mode is a weird thing. It like won't let you do like half the stuff. That's probably why I can't see it. But I can see how to do it. So I definitely could look at doing that. Maybe we could do lives for people that are subs or something like that on Discord, or I don't know. Figure it out. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. The cats are like, y'all, if you were to see, you might think there was something, if you didn't know that I was currently fostering 8 kittens and I was to wear a pair of shorts and a tank top, you guys might ask me if I was okay, because there's little schmurderment marks up and down my legs. I got some on my back because I had a kitten jump off the bed on my back trying to get. Yeah.
Blink twice if you're in danger.
Mental Millennial. I actually downloaded it. I mean, maybe it'll grow into something, but I haven't been a fan of it. Not enough to start posting on it, at least. It's not horrible, but
I've heard they do, because TikTok has been, this is a weird group, y'all, but TikTok has been, a lot of the animal rehabbers have been coming, catching hell through TikTok, getting banned from receiving gifts, all kinds of stuff, not pushing out their videos. One of the ladies I watch egg collecting videos, TikTok said her egg collecting videos violated their guidelines. And when I tell you, all she does is go out there with a basket and she counts chicken eggs and puts them in a basket. That's it. And they've been violating her videos. So now she's not posting those videos on TikTok anymore. It's like, TikTok, you're screwing yourself.
Mm.
I read somewhere that part of the algorithmic changes is that they're trying to separate real people and real content from AI generated content. And one of the ways they've been doing so is to analyze faces, which to me is not good, which is why I've been a lemon for many months. And so they analyze faces, and then they flag videos that don't show faces, like accounts that do not show faces enough.
Yeah.
So that might be what's happening with animal rescue.
Yeah, they're being
Doesn't make it okay, just letting you know.
they're being weird about content that doesn't show people's faces. That I did hear about.
And that would be like with the egg situation. Her name is Amber. Like, she's literally, a lot of the times you see her actually as she's walking with the phone in her face till she gets out there. So that's why it's really weird, because her face is most of the time in the content. It's not like Mr. Matt's Critters, because of what he does, because of the fact that he also hunts. He goes after like poachers and stuff like that. He's never shown his face, and he got a tobacco violation for mixing up opossum food, mixing up a formula that they use, the rehabbers use, and it's like a bucket you can get of possum food with all different kinds of dried things that are really good for possums, and he was mixing it together, and they flagged him for tobacco.
Of course.
And you know what though? The crazy thing about that theory is the fact that they put all these filters out there where you can have, like, even with like your profile picture, you can have like almost like an animated version of you, and they do all of these different filters with animated like visions and stuff, and that's the crazy thing about it. That is crazy. I got kicked off of my live last week. They turned off my live, and they basically said I had to prove that I was 18 in order to go live. And then if I didn't do that, they would ban my account. And I'm like, but I had to prove I was 18 before I went live the first time in May. This shit is tripping.
Yeah, there's something. I mean, this is a little bit tinfoil. So there's a part of my response is going to be tinfoil hat, and some that's not. Tinfoil first. I get nervous when this app is requiring people to resubmit identification. It's a way to tie your government ID to your social media activity in a way that really makes me nervous under this administration. I'm not saying it's coming right now, but this is an administration that is focused on surveillance, and it's focused on quashing dissent. And I wouldn't be surprised if in a couple of years they said, okay, we have all your government IDs logged from those accounts that you used to have on TikTok. We know the things that you've said. We're coming after all these people. So that makes me nervous. Then the non-tinfoil hat version, which is what's actually happening, is that when the data gets transferred, things get lost, things get it's not a one for one. And I think they're just trying to cover their legal bases by saying, no, everyone that can go live is verified over 18, even if there is unmoderated, not suitable for work content that we miss, everyone is over 18, right? There's no CP charges that can come from anything.
It was just weird because I was on screen. It was like I had been live for a little bit over an hour, and I had been on screen almost that entire time. And I showed a picture of when I graduated on a Polaroid. It had the date with the year 98 at the bottom of it, and that's when it popped off. And I'm just like, now, when I first went live, Mike, did you have to I had to do a verification. The first option they gave me was it was an outline on your face, on the screen of like a face, just a generic face shape. And I had to put my face in there. And it was like, sorry, we can't verify if you're over 18. So then I had to send my ID, and I don't think it's tinfoil hat theory. I 1,050 gazillion. I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. I don't think it's tinfoil at all.
This app keeps asking me for my verification and it specifically asks for my government issued ID every day, multiple times a day. I've never gone live on my own account. So I'm not sure why it's requesting my verification. Like, I'm a small account. I don't do anything. Why do you need to verify my identity? I'll take a screenshot like I took a screenshot of how many ads I get.
Yeah, I don't remember the first time I went live was so long ago. I don't remember what they requested of me.
Can we talk about tomorrow?
Sure.
Yesterday it was requested that if we could talk about it. Bree, I hope you're here and you can hear me. So lots of things. We want to make sure we're giving out information for people who are going to be going out and about and doing the thing. First of all, no, it's very much appreciated, and please be safe. Okay, everybody, no matter if you think you're in a safe area or not, because it's when things happen. Do you think anybody would ever go somewhere knowing that something bad was going to happen? No. Things like that happen and you don't know they're going to happen, so don't ever get complacent, please. Make sure that you are not taking your purses with you, ladies, okay? Or men bags. Let's not do that. Let's not carry our wallet with everything we own. Don't take it with you. Don't even have it in your vehicle. Let's not do that kind of stuff. Make sure especially if you know you're going to be a little rowdy, make sure you write contact information on your person in case your phone is confiscated, you lose your phone, it's broken, whatever way. Make sure you have a phone number written somewhere on your person that won't be easily sprayed off, can't be accessed by liquid if anything is thrown at you, in case you need to reach out. Make sure somebody knows where you're at. I don't care if you're grown, you live by yourself, make sure a friend, family member, neighbor, make sure somebody knows where you're at so you don't just go and if something happens to you, no one knows what's going on. Make sure you turn off all your biometrics on your phone, y'all. Passwords only. Turn off those biometrics on your phone. Passwords only. At the same time, if you see stuff janky going down, please record it. Please record. Don't ever put yourself in a place of being unsafe, but please safely record it. You don't know how much these videos and stuff may come to somebody's defense. Please make sure you pack some water and snacks to take with you. If you have to, if you got to take a break, make sure you take a break. I'm trying to think what else. If you're going to take like your ID, just take your ID, put it in a pocket. Put it in a Ziploc baggie is actually the best. You can put whatever information, whatever important that you feel you have to take with you, whether it's medication, whether it's whatever. If you have Ziploc baggies, please bring that with you. Keep it in there so that way even if you do get hosed down, sprayed, squirted, whatever, that your stuff doesn't get wet and ruined. Sorry, my battery's getting low. Also, if you can't help, because there are a lot of people that can't help or are scared to help or just are not going to, there's other ways you can do it besides actually protesting. You can always drop off snacks, water, see if there's anything that they need. Maybe if you have extra cardboard or poster board for people to make signs, you can drop it off. If you're homebound, you can help by watching TikTok or whatever social media and supporting the lives that you see out there. Tap on those lives, comments on those lives so those creators know, like, hey, we're not just doing this for nothing. People see what we're doing, please. It's so important in whatever way. Milk in a spray bottle, that could be helpful, especially if you know you're in a place where there's a lot of anti-music festival folks going to be there, and they have those kind of sprays that don't make you feel good, milk is definitely helpful.
I think on the more joyful, maybe not joyful, but the more revolutionary side of like people who are attending these protests, there are a lot of calls for not wearing black, but wearing really bright colors, dressing silly, dressing in cosplay, because it's much harder for them to push the Antifa narrative through their channels if you do not appear the part. Additionally, people are recommending that you put the date on all of your signs. You can write it on yourself, just to make sure that when the media, does what it does and spins a story for specific groups of people, the images that we give them are not at all going to fit the narrative they're trying to push.
Yes. I that was the thing I was like, because we talked about that in Bex this morning, because I was like, the dates, and then when they were explaining it, I was like, the dates make so much sense on your posters. And then also, they can't sit here and use film footage from 6 years ago and say, look what's happening right now. No, you got the wrong thing.
Yeah, we still recommend like cover your faces. If you can afford to leave your cell phone at home, please leave your cell phone at home. It isn't just, if you get searched, they're collecting pinging data from cell towers that you're near. So if you can afford to leave it at home, leave it at home. Bring a burner phone with you. Don't send text messages about your attendance to anyone. I mean, like really think about locking it down. Yeah.
Hence the reason why I think that these inflatable costumes are so effective, because how can you sit here and talk about they're going crazy, it's a riot, they're destroying everything, they're burning the cities, and you're literally looking at a bunch of freaking people in inflatables doing the cha-cha slide in the middle of the night. Like,
there's a political science term, like an IR term about this. I'll have to find it. I'm going to look it up. But there's like an actual specific strategy for revolt.
I can't hear her anymore.
No, she cut out.
Come back, Theory.
Oh, there she goes. One of her.
And then there were 3.
She might have gotten a call.
Yeah, either that or she'll be right back.
Oh, she might be looking up the term she was thinking about.
Yep, she got a call. I thought.
Oh, okay.
You don't have any bright clothes, Bree? Oh my gosh, well, you should come to my closet. The left half is all black from when I worked at Coach and we wore all black, but the right half is multicolored all over the place.
Yo, Kia's closet. There you go. In business.
Yeah, I don't do much solid. I don't believe in neutral. Multicolorful is neutral to me because then it can go with all kinds of colors. So I don't do neutral. Is there anything else that anybody, and I'm looking on the tube too, if you guys can think of that I missed that you guys got here, right? If you could think of that I missed that was, and I'll go over it again when I go live as well. It's just really important. I just want people to be safe. But yeah, wear cheerful colors and go out there. And yes, we can be pissed off, but like I said the other day, don't let them steal your joy, damn it. Do not let them take your joy from us. You're welcome, Bree. I told you I was, and I didn't forget. I was proud of myself. There is a website, in case people don't know, where and for those of you guys who are like me and we can't handle the big crowds, there are other smaller spaces. There's a protest, or there is a there is a website that they have for No Kings. And then you can also, I know we don't like the Book of Faces, but there's a lot of information on there too for your local events that are happening. So maybe you can find something that's a little more local, a little smaller in size, so you won't feel quite so overwhelmed by all the people.
Yeah, those are very good points, Key. And I will say this: I agree with something that you pointed out earlier. Is that we are going to need, and this is something that I carried over from my military experience. Is you need people on all sides, right? On all sides of all parts of a mission, right? It's not just those who are on the front lines. It's the chefs, it's the medics, it's the communication experts. It's all of those things that come together. So however you decide to participate, if you're going to participate, however you decide to do it is great. The support is great in any capacity. If you're going to watch lives, watch lives. If you're going to stay home like I said, you're going to stay home and do this, or you're going to take snacks out there, if you're going to go out there and protest safely as you can, all of that is important. All of that is valid. And it's all good.
I want to say this, like I keep seeing, and of course it's just a because it hasn't happened yet. So this is just like a guess, but I keep hearing WRAL mentioned the other day several times. They've been talking about it, talking about there's a bunch of local protests that they're going to, a lot of music festivals happening, and they've been talking a lot about it. And I have to say, when I watched after the election, I struggled. And I know Mike and those that were in this space, they know, like, I was really struggling with how I felt about YT folks in this country, about the fact that they still voted for that person and all of the things. And it made me, seeing the first No Kings festival, it made me, seeing all those bright Mayo faces out there, like really, really took a little bit of that. I almost kind of feel like the Grinch, when the Grinch's heart is starting to grow back, and he stops being like such quite a bad guy, and he lets the love in. And it kind of, I was like, okay, I can get behind this. I can get behind this. And I'm really hoping to see that again tomorrow. I'm really excited about that. I felt that way for the whole world that gave us help. I'm speaking on it more. This was definitely more of a race thing. This is me speaking especially as a biracial Black woman. I mean, I came from a white woman. You know what I mean? My mama is a white lady. And I struggle. It is a struggle sometimes with dealing with that kind of stuff, because it's like, it's really hard to explain here. I don't think I could do it at this time. Here she's back.
I'm sorry. My cell phone gets calls. This was a good one from my mom. She sent me a care package. Love it. Someone said it in the chat. What I was looking up was tactical frivolity. That's the social media term we're all using now. In the studies, there are conversations as far back as I can find as like 2000, which isn't really that far, but they look into historical sources of humor as a way to protest dictatorship. And it's this idea, I think, here I pulled something up while I was talking to my mom. It's an Ethiopian proverb. It says, "When the great lord passes, the wise peasant bows deeply and silently farts." And it's this idea that even in, despair, even in grief, even in these moments, we're still human beings, and humor is a way to express all these different emotions that we might have. At least that's what this sociologist was arguing in their paper. But, there are tons of scholarly papers on nonviolent resistance and humor, silliness, or like jokes in general being a form of opposition. And so I think that's what the current, what is it? What are we saying? No, can we say that no crowns?
I don't
I'm
know.
trying to get the
It's
think
just
the
the P
appropriate.
word. It's the test word with the P that it seems to be triggering the AI.
block,
So that's
the
why we'll
block
say.
party,
But I think you can
yeah,
say new kings.
the block party that everyone is going to, that people are planning on going to. I think it's a really tactical, strategic move to say, A, you can't take away our joy, you can't take away our humanity, but B, you also can't frame us as this highly militarized, highly like specific force that is fighting you. Because we're really just American citizens and American people who are coming together in dissent.
Yeah, and Brianna, one of the crazy things is when they came out with the new terms of service, they legit said in there that depending on what's happening at the current time, current events, things that were safe one day may not be safe to talk about the next day. So it can, that is not, please, when you go into people's chats, please be respectful of the boundaries that are set in different places, because the other big issue I see is there's a lot of YT men that are political creators, and they can get up there and they can say all of their words, all of them, and they don't get popped off. And then other people, they say the wrong word one time, or a guest says it, or somebody in the channel, their live gets cut off. That sucks. And I love that. And yes, I've been hearing about that company in Portland, supposed to be donating some inflatable costumes. I know, like Attorney Di said, she's not marching, but she's going to purchase some inflatable costumes to give out at the parade. So if that's something that you do, if you have the funding for that, I know not everybody does, but if you want to purchase a couple of costumes and pass them out, that's another way you could participate. There's so many ways.
Yeah, Brianna said, do they flag emojis instead of, like, if you use an emoji in place of a word, does that get flagged too, or is that okay?
It really just depends on the day. And that's why part of the issue, like when Mike kept talking about the terms of service, they made it so vague, and they legit basically worded it where at any given time or any day, they can decide what is something appropriate or not. And so you might have said it yesterday and then say something today, and you get a violation for it.
Got it. So go ahead.
And some of the emojis, depending on where you are, like
Mhm.
some of them won't work. Like the clown one has been a big one that'll kind of get you.
Okay. Get you some attention there. Yeah, it's so basically what I'm understanding is that they're setting it up to silence who they want to silence when they want to silence them. That's all I'm reading from that. You're already filtering these words, you know,
It's
regular words just based on facts. You know what I mean? It's not,
it's
you know,
AI
it's not
being it's AI being AI.
okay. Wait, so so the AI is the thing that's in control of the flagging of these things?
Yeah, they use AI moderation.
I see. Yeah, okay. That makes it even worse, because here's the thing: as much as we can definitely, you know, notice that, you know, that moderation is tough on that side. You know, there's still somebody has to program it. You know what I'm saying? So it's a terrible execution process.
Yeah. To your point, like it is an AI, which is why so many normal people and regular folks who are doing pretty chill videos are getting flagged, is because they're using AI moderation. But you're right, somebody does program the AI, and somebody does make selections about what terms need to be blocked now and not yesterday.
Yeah. Oh boy. Well, you know what? Like I said, you know, the joy would not be taken, and as long as we're able and as long as we can, we'll come together, we'll keep talking, we'll keep sharing, we'll keep learning, we'll keep growing. And overall, and I believe this, and you know, people may think that it's some naivete, but I'm rooting what I'm saying in a just from a logical standpoint that I have, I guess, is that I believe there's more good than bad in this world. And the reason why I believe that ultimately is because if the opposite were true, we'd already all be out of here effectively. So there's definitely a good in this world. It's just tough when you have those, when you have people in positions that make terrible decisions and decide to be, you know, decide to be a poor character, and it makes it look, it makes it seem as if, you know, the negative is outweighing. But just realize that us being here in this capacity, being able to talk through these things, and yeah, that's exactly it, Heather. The bad is just louder. That's exactly correct. They're just louder about it. But know that there's still good out here. There's still people who love y'all, care about y'all, and are here for you.
I also think that in addition to the bad just being louder, they also are more strategic and they also create systems that value being bad. And so it's not just that they're louder, it's that they have all this structure in place in which their poor behavior is actually rewarded. Because if you think about capitalism as a structure, in order for somebody to make money, there needs to be somebody else who is getting the short end of the stick. Because let's say it cost you $5 to make a product and you sell it for 20, that other person is still paying $15 above the real value of that thing that you just made so that you can make money. So it's always built on, you know, taking advantage of or having someone else who is lesser benefiting than you are. And that's how we have these systems now. The bad just created bad systems that value them being bad.
I agree.
And it feels like super hard to be a semi decent person existing in a world that rewards bad behavior, because I think that's one of the biggest, like, heartbreaking moments of living under a capitalistic social organization is that a lot of the time you don't want to necessarily take advantage of someone else, but you have to because that's your job. Or, you know, I work in advertising, for example. Every time I create a new ad, which is like, I don't know, 7 ads a day sometimes, and it's entire campaigns, right? I'm thinking I'm here selling something to a consumer base that is already going through an economic recession, excuse me, that is already facing financial uncertainty, and yet here I am trying to sell them more things they probably don't need. That's a blight on my own human soul every time I do something like that. But there is no out, because even when I worked as a bartender, I'm like, okay, well, I'm selling you alcohol and then you're going to get in a car.
User blah 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 blah. I know you can't talk anymore, but what do you think? Nobody works in Europe, or like they work. People work. I don't. No one's getting handouts like you think people are getting.
What do you think handouts are, and who pays for those handouts? See, this is the thing. We're talking about bad people, and we're talking about what makes a good human. I would rather have somebody else take abuse of a system and get more than they need, more than they quote unquote deserve or whatever. And yet everyone is safer, everyone is healthier, everyone is well supported. I would rather that than have anyone go hungry. than have anyone be homeless.
I think another factor that people tend to ignore in a lot of cases is that even if somebody's willing to do this said work or whatever the case, most people that I know have a bottom line of what they need to make to survive. So, this idea of like, oh, well, just go get any job. Okay, even if I wanted to do the work, if that work doesn't pay the bills, if it doesn't provide the dollar signs that I need to pay the bills that I have, why would I go get that job? Just go get any job? That does not work like that.
It also doesn't work because most jobs require you to have a stable address. If you are experiencing homelessness, you cannot go get a job. If you can't get an ID because you also don't have a stable address, you can't go fill out a job application to get a job. If you don't have a car and your city doesn't have reliable transportation, well, you can't get a job that you can't walk to or that you can't bike to. It's very easy to say, like, go get a job, as though jobs are growing like weeds.
Hmm.
There are so many blocks to access gainful employment intentionally.
Yep.
I agree. 150,000%. And that's the thing. It's like, because like I live in one of those areas, Theory. There's no public transportation. I mean, I live in a town of like 2,200 people that has 3 stoplights. You can't even walk the road where I live because there's no shoulder and there's ditches on either side with grasses. I live out in the countryside of North Carolina, walking through that grass. The whale. Patty loves that whale. But there's
That scares the bejeebus out of me.
you can't ride your bike. Like even that's so rough. Hang on. I hope no one just got muted. But um, you know, it's really easy for people to say, like I went into a live over the weekend. I don't know if you heard me yesterday, Theory, when I shared the story, but I saw that Facts Still Matters was on a live on Saturday, so I went in just to see if he was like on a panel or what he was doing. He was on a panel in a MAGA live, and this YT lady said, this was what finally he ended up leaving after this. He's like, I'm not fucking talking to you people. He's like, 'cause this is gross. She was like, well, people wouldn't need handouts from the government if they made better choices in life. I mean, because come on, everybody has a choice what kind of job they're going to do. And if you need to make more money, you should just make better choices.
Get a better paying job. It's that.
Yeah, let me make the choice to be born into a wealthier family. Let me make the choice to be born into a state that has plentiful jobs or booming industry that's not going to fail. Let me make the choice to change my skin color and gender. Let me oh wait, we can't actually do any of those things.
Forget the fact that there are literally millions of people that are getting degrees, working hard, out of college, trying to find a job, literally applying to hundreds, if not thousands of jobs, and aren't even getting callbacks.
That's what feels so egregiously terrible about this current moment, is that the people who are jobless currently, who are adding every day to the number of jobless, are the people who, according to society, according to what society told us to do, made all the right decisions. They made the right choices. They went to schools, they got the degrees that they needed, and society continues to fail them. That is why there's a tear in the social contract.
Yep. Just again, before for anyone that's in TikTok, obviously if you're here, tap nose helps live, but also know that I'm live here and on the tube at the same time. I'm trying to grow over there, which means I need view hours over there, which means any any help, if you like what we do here, that means you will like the stuff that I put over there. If you like what we do here, you will like over there just as much. You will like the episodes that I put out twice a week, which will probably be increasing. There'll be lots of cool, different varieties of videos. Like I'm talking with multiple people about different kinds of videos that will meet a lot of different people in a lot of different ways. So if you could go over there and help out, that would be great. If you want to hang out over there, you don't have to worry about being filtered, which is also great. And it adds to the view hours, which is great. It's all great. It's all great.
Exactly. Great.
I want to go ahead and do a commercial, if you don't mind. I gotta try to get my semi karaoke playlist together here in a minute. But y'all, commercial time. Since Scott isn't here, I figured I'd go ahead and do it. All right, guys. So as my brother was just saying, he's ow, god damn it, your claws hurt. Sorry. Shit. Hang on. I just had to take a little 1 pound.
That's the best commercial.
It's the best commercial I've ever had.
There you go. Assert dominance, kitty cat. No.
One of the kids, they were playing with each other, and one of them like hopped up and kind of used my leg as like their rock climbing device, because they kind of started to go over the bed. So yeah, they were just hanging by some claws. I keep cotton balls and some alcohol to put on all of these little cuts every day. Sorry, y'all.
Kitty cat said, "Take the hill."
All right, let's try this again. All right. So y'all, as I was trying to say earlier, my brother is trying to grow, and to do all the things helps make him grow. So make sure. Ooh, all your gifts are lit up in your gift gallery. Congratulations. Just in case you didn't know, every Monday morning, your creator's gift gallery resets. If you click on his name, you'll see a little thing about a third of the way there, and it will tell you what the gifts are. And they only count, they all have to be done by one person. They start off really cheap, and then you have a little bit more. But when you do that, especially if he starts hitting that on a regular basis, it tells TikTok that he's doing good, that helps him to grow. When you gift, when you send your heart me, when you do your comments, when you do all the things to get your 112 plus points every day, that helps him grow. It helps us grow because it increases your gift score and your gifting level. And when you do that, you're allowed to send way cooler gifts. They do. TikTok might fuck up a lot of stuff, but their gifts, the animation on their gifts are very well done. Somebody does a very good job with that. I digress. My brother does a great job with putting out his stories, his podcast, as he said, twice a week. You can find that on the tube, as well as other longer but short but long form videos. He's got lots of videos up here on the top. Make sure when you guys see those things come through on your For You page, that's like the biggest push. If it's on the For You page, even if it's an old video, make sure you heart, make sure you comment, all of those things. Every time you engage with Mike, anything that he does, whether it's here, the tube, or all the places, it's telling the powers that be that you like what we're doing. Make sure that we're doing our viewing hours if you can over in the other place. How close are you? Are you halfway there yet? We were a third of the way.
Yes, I am pretty close to halfway there. I'm not quite, but I'm close.
See, it's working, y'all. It's working. And if we want him to be able to continue doing what he's doing, we got to make sure that we're doing whatever we can. If you can't afford to subscribe, that's okay. Tapping is free, commenting is free, and that does just as much, if not more. It tells TikTok, it tells all the places that you're engaged. We have a Discord area where you can come and hang out. It also will send you a notification when he's live on TikTok. I don't know about anybody else, but since the TikTok shutdown, I have not received not one live notification from not one creator, even the ones that I'm like subscribed to. I don't get any notifications. So the only reason I know you're on is because I get an alert from Discord. What else? We got the Stack of Sub where he does audio and written forms of stories, more in depth. You can also go on Apple, Spotify, you
Apple,
said,
Spotify. Yep.
podcast. I like to listen to the podcast while I'm driving. Um, it's something that you can listen to while you're doing other things, so make sure you're checking it out. Did I get it all?
I think so.
Okay. Sorry, y'all had to hear me holler about the cat.
It's fine. It was just great timing.
Not for my legs, it wasn't. I rub my legs and they're supposed to be smooth, and all I feel are little miniature centimeter little cat scratches all over the place.
Ugh.
But you know what? With all the crazy shit that's going on in this world, I am so thankful when they're running amok and watching them. They're starting to do like the little side hop where they arch their back and they puff their tail and they hop. I can tell you I can get so lost, and that's why I feel like I totally had to check out a little bit. If it doesn't come on WRAL when I'm watching it, chances are I'm gonna miss most of the news. I had to really step back because I felt it affecting me again. So I that's why you'll hear me, if you hear me ask what's going on with that, that's why, because I'm not keeping up as much as I was. I had to step back a little bit.
I'm sorry. What did you say, Key? Is it that you said WRAL? Was that a network or something?
It's a local TV station.
Oh,
it's not
okay.
a Raleigh. It's like one of the. And I mean, they've got 4K, and it's really funny because I've been to other places, and because I watch WRAL and their clarity and their quality is so good, and I go somewhere else and I see their news, I'm like, this looks like a B-rated film or something. But they cover all kinds of good stuff. They have sections. They have a website and they have a Tube of View channel as well. They do in-depth stuff on current events, political events, how it affects people. That's how I heard about us suing the North Carolina being part of that big judgment against the government for the solar power. People, y'all, do y'all not get how beneficial those grants were going to be to all those families all over the country? Light bills have gotten so expensive. If I could afford to get some solar panels, I would.
Mm-hmm.
And the big thing with all I don't think we talked about that really when the press people all leaving out of the Pentagon or whatever because they don't want to sign the contract or whatever.
We talked about a little first thing.
See, I usually miss first thing because I'm doing stuff.
Yep.
But for me, I'm looking at that. It's a good thing and it's scary. Good for them for standing up and not bowing down, not taking the knee. Woo fucking who, I'm so proud. That part makes me clap. But the really scary thing is that the one network is OAN that still has the thing. It's
yeah, but
that's really scary.
The fact is they're not going to have access. That's the whole point. That's the reason the press said no to it, because they're basically getting restricted access anyways. So the fact that OAN is still going to be there, they're only going to get whatever the Pentagon allows to be released, which the other networks are still going to get that information. They're just only going to get whatever the Pentagon is allowed to release. So it's really not any different. It's just they get to be in the building now and get only stuff that the Pentagon allows to release, as opposed to whatever the Pentagon releases.
Maybe I need to clarify why it's scary, why I think it's scary. And you don't have to agree, and that's fine. What in the world?
My camera was
focusing,
my camera was out of focus.
Oh, I'm like, what? Yeah, talk to the hand.
Talk to the hand, Kia.
Why it's scary is because all the people that kept saying that P2025 was not a real thing. Do people not what Scott was saying? How important it is for us to have access through the press so we know what's going on. That is the scary thing. When you have the person that is in control of the government that has the biggest amount of our budget that goes to them, and they say fuck you, you can't be here, you don't get to know the truth. That's why it's scary. And if people don't start to think about how important and how serious it is that they're revoking press privileges in the overall scheme of things, if we become complacent to this is yet another way we just walk fascism right in the door. So please do not be complacent about people not having press passes. Anybody, please,
Yeah.
please
So
know how important that is.
my statement was just that OAN had it and none of the others did, that there's not any difference between the two. As a whole, yes, it's absolutely horrible and is literally an example of freedom of the press getting taken away. It's another First Amendment right getting taken.
I might be hopeful for one moment, which is rare for me. I'm usually the Debbie Downer of the group.
Guys,
But
everyone mark the day and time.
yeah, mark the day and time.
Noted.
Jerry had breakfast this morning and the world is sunny again. Is that this is an administration that is 100, and actually, you know what? 1,000,000. Why not? Numbers don't matter anymore. 1,000,000% obsessed with image. They are obsessed with what everything looks like. It looked weak for this administration to have that many press members walk out. It looked weak as hell. And you better believe that they think that meant it backfired. Because they weren't, they're just so inept at a lot of things. And image is one of the things that they're traditionally very good at. This sucked for them.
Yep. Yes.
It did.
This is, again, the louder you hear them get, the like even with the shutdown, the amount of people that come in and say that it's X, Y, and Z. You want to know how I know that the Republicans are feeling the pressure? Because they are changing their story every single day. They are trying to say something else. They're trying to say something else. They're trying to throw something against the wall in hopes that this time they will get, he will get believed. And that shows that it is that they are feeling the pressure. This is going to hurt them. The fact that Newsmax, Fox News, CNN, and every other, left-wing media were on the same page, there is nothing that makes them look worse than that reality. And they will fight it because that's what they do. They will never try. They will do everything humanly possible. And even if they pull back on it, they will never admit that they messed up. But this looks bad for them. Like really bad for them.
Yeah, it's another reason why wearing colorful things and like being joyful at these block parties is super important. Is again, they are experts at manipulating propaganda with image.
Yep.
And with messaging and positioning. Don't even get me started on that stuff. But like, they are obsessed with how things appear. So if we can make them appear silly for being afraid of silliness, I mean, we won.
It's like the video that I couldn't post on TikTok, so I had to post over on the tube. I said that. I was like, they're wearing costumes because they're wearing these things because they think you guys are, they think this administration, like that's what they think of this administration. They every time DHS fires any sort of stuff at people dressed up in frog and cat and other animal costumes, they look ridiculous. Like the administration looks ridiculous. Anytime this administration comes out and calls what's going on in Portland an act of terror when there are pictures of them dancing in inflatable animals costumes. It's the administration that looks ridiculous. And again, they're doing everything humanly possible to try and frame it differently. There's already reports of their own videographers trying to get angles and things of certain things happening to try and make it seem like it's a war zone. They're doing it. They're trying really hard. The key is for us to keep showing that everything that they are putting out is false. And things like what's going on in Portland are helping.
I love it. I fucking love it. I hope that's the one thing I will say. I hope this time tomorrow that I see is inflatables from coast to fucking coast,
That would be
from
really funny.
east, west, north, south, the middle of the country, everybody. If we can just see fucking inflatable costumes all over the internet, social media, and fucking everywhere, and show them how unserious we all think they are. How, and unserious, not in the fact that they're not dangerous, not in that way, but unserious, how unserious we think they all are. How much we all think they have not got a fucking clue and haven't an idea of what they're doing.
Cool.
And I can't help but giggle. Theory, I hope you saw my finger. Every time you talk about that, that's all I can think about. I can't help it. It's my little 12-year-old self comes out.
Oh
that
yeah,
little girl.
they've been getting sold out on every online everywhere. I mean, they're sold here, they're sold on Amazon, they're sold everywhere. So I think you're going to see a lot tomorrow, which will be hilarious.
I'm actively looking forward to it, and that's why when Di was like, "I'm in the middle of the country, and I already ordered some." She said she already ordered some, and she's giving them out. And I'm like, man, if I had the funds, I would do exactly the same. I want to see them out there making them just look so, walking down the street carrying their signs.
Like, and then when you see the videos of the cube officers trying to spray pepper spray right in the vent hole at the bottom, it's like they look even worse. Like, they don't understand. They look even worse. Shut down till January 2nd from a Republican governor. Again, there's a lot of people that can try and push and claim one way or another all they want. Even has said that the person at the top is the one responsible if this happens. And that is in general what people view. You know, the last time, the biggest similarity between this this closing of the government and the last closing of the government? You want to know the greatest similarity between the two? The Republicans owned all three branches.
Yeah.
Both times. If this one ends up being over 17 days, this president will be in charge, will be responsible for the two longest shutdowns ever. And they will both be during the time when Republicans owned all three branches. Republicans have no intention. It's not, again, they will if they feel that it will. They shut down the government for 35 days last time thinking everything would be fine. And you want to know what happened? It was one of the largest shifts in the House ever. Like, it wasn't even a tiny shift. Considering how many seats are supposed to be up for grabs right now.
Yeah, like let's say I'm like, I have no intention of changing my mind. I have no intention of like moving my car out of the way. And then someone is like, okay, great, I'm gonna ram my car into yours. I'm gonna move that car maybe. Like, they may have no intentions of opening Congress until whenever they want. it doesn't mean that we have no effect on whether or not that changes. If we start showing them, hey, there's concerted strategic effort in protests,
So
there's
being
strategic effort in a bunch of stuff.
the 17-day shutdown under Obama was the Republican controlled Senate and the Democrat controlled House not being able to come to an agreement. That does happen. No, it was 2013. It was 2013. They had a 17-day shutdown. It was
Ooh, I forgot. I'm sorry.
They couldn't come to an agreement. And they negotiated and they came to an agreement finally. That's what happens.
During that time,
Hang on one second, because I'm getting ready to have him kick me because I'm getting ready to go live. I did forget one thing about if you're participating tomorrow. Pay attention to what your weather is. Some people may have to wear layers because it may be cool in the morning if it's in the morning, maybe warm in the outside if you need rain gear, stuff like that. With that, I am out and getting ready to do my thing.
I gotta go to
Guys,
meetings too.
have
I'm
a
gonna
great
hop off.
weekend.
So
Bye, Kia. But
the last
one second.
shutdown was under Trump, and then Obama, and then 2 under Clinton.
I was
Conveniently forgetting the Republican shutdown under Trump. But I do want to say one thing before I hop down for a meeting. What I want everyone to get from, if we do see a lot of costumes tomorrow, if we do see a lot of joy, a lot of bright colors, I want you to remember, yes, it's funny. Yes, we're showing them blah, 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 that we are capable of strategy. Okay. We are capable of coming together as a people. And that, I think, is the overarching message that we should take from this. It's not just that we're laughing in their faces. It's also that we're highly strategic and we can do this. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Hi. I was asking about the when you talked about the one under Obama, but were they talking for those were they talking for those 17 days, or was it sort of no? Okay, so I think that's also to be noted. Like, if a shutdown is happening but people are actively working on it and communicating, it's a big difference than if you're just shut down and nobody's reaching across whatever and not trying to talk about it or get anything done.
Correct. The difference between then and now is then there was negotiation. Negotiation happened. And yes, they didn't. The Senate at the time was trying to get rid of Obamacare, not change it, literally get rid of it. And they ended up signing it because it was ridiculous for them to try and get rid of it. That does not mean there was no negotiation or things did not get changed in that time, but they were not. This time, it's the Republicans are unwilling to negotiate. There is no negotiation going on. That's the difference now. That's the biggest problem now. I think that was the problem actually in the last one too, is there was basically no real negotiation going on. I can't verify it, so I don't want to put it out there as a definite, but this time the problem, again, if the Republicans negotiated, if the Republicans were like, we'll give you X and, we will negotiate to try and get your votes, then sure, we could have a discussion on whether at this point there is some, the Democrats have some blame towards it. But there hasn't been any. The only even mention of it is Thune saying, oh, we'll give you a vote if you do this. That means nothing. They're getting a vote now if they add it in. They know that it's easier for them to deny it if they put it to vote after they pass the CR. Just add it and get it through. It's not that hard.
Gotcha. And I want to make something very clear for everyone here. Mike is one of the most straightforward dudes, and stands very firmly in what he thinks and believes. And if there was some blame to be had, on the Democratic left side of the aisle, I don't know, however you want to say it, he would point that out too. He's not just because of where he aligns politically doesn't mean he will absolve anyone from, let's take care of the people, because that's what he's about. So regardless of how you feel um on the political end, the real thing is there are people being affected and it needs to happen. And at this juncture, it's happening on their side. If they're not reaching out, then that's what we got to call out. He's dealing with what the situation is. He's not coming from a place of, oh, my side or the whatever. Hey, this is what the reality of it is. And the reason why he has to combat some silly folks like you all is because you're trying to place the blame otherwise, and you're thinking with your political heart instead of your human head on these situations.
I mean, the fact is Mike Johnson has said straight out that there is nothing to negotiate about.
Right.
So
Yeah.
like they did it. It's not like he said, we've been negotiating and we can't come to an agreement. We've offered this and they've said no. We've offered this and they've said no. They haven't offered anything. They said take it or else. And that is bullshit.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. It's
Yep.
bullshit. I always think of the little kid. Bullshit. Toddler who somehow learned the word bullshit is hilarious. All right, it's 12:04. Guys, we are at a Friday, which means nothing probably going on this weekend, although it's possible I might go live on the Purple app on Twitch this weekend. I might do some gaming. I don't know. But there's a lot going on, so who knows? But anyways,
Ooh, real quick, under the same name? Under the old name, or did you get a
No, the old name. The old name.
Oh, say okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
And yeah, just so you know, next week, actually I will be on Shug's live on the Purple app on Twitch, getting interviewed. So, and I may go live too with them just to help get more views on it. We'll see. Either way, make sure you have a great weekend. Do something fun. Get out, touch some grass. Be safe tomorrow. If you are at any event going on, just be safe. Understand the reality of the things. Be as safe as you possibly can. And yeah, I think that's it. Thank you for the likes, the shares, and the gifts. I appreciate you all. Again, please go over and watch stuff over on the tube. I put out stuff all the time, and it helps me a lot to have you guys watch it. It also means a lot if you guys enjoy it and interact with it and do that kind of stuff. I know some of them are long, but we're trying to do a lot of different things, and there's a lot of things coming. So if you don't follow over there, there's a lot of new things that are going to be coming about. So you'll want to be over there and you'll want to be a part of it. Okay. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys on Monday if I don't see you over on Twitch or something, or some big event happens and I have to go live. You guys are amazing just the way you are, and I love you all very much. Stay safe, stay healthy. Remember to sing, laugh, dance, smile, do something that makes you happy. Bye, guys. Goodbye, YouTube.